Good morning. Today I went to the bank and I brought with me a check from Fidelity Investments. It's the first stage in me moving money away from Fidelity Investments, and eventually my money will be away from this criminal brokerage gulag archipelago. And the reason I'm moving money from Fidelity Investments is because they did not respond to my certified email. And I asked them specifically about some of the exposures which I thought were hidden in their products and in their brokerage account. So if they're not going to respond to me after 2 months, that in fact is the response. And since I can't look at their balance sheet, and I know that the SIPC isn't going to be on my side, I know that the brokerage industry, the bankruptcy courts are going to err in the favor of the banksters, it's time to move my money away to an FDIC insured account. I can move it perhaps to a credit union where you own really the stock in that company, but the collateral is about the same. But I chose a bank which should be relatively safe, and I'm going to sort of scatter my money across several of these broken institutions. And you know, I'm a long-term holder of gold. And speaking of that, here in this MF Global envelope, I have 2 coins which I did pick up at the bank, which, as far as I'm concerned, are free money. I asked the guy if he had any 50-cent pieces, and he had 2 of them, and he had 8 of them. And of the 8, I said, "Can I look through them?" He said, "Sure." I found 2 of them that looked to be toned, and I didn't look at the dates. I looked at the edges, and I looked at the toning. And the toning was such that on one of them that I couldn't figure out the date. The other one was 1968. So I know this 1968 one is 40% silver. Guess what? This coin is worth $5 in silver. So I'm going to put it back in my MF Global envelope. This coin, I couldn't read the date, so what I did is I took a pencil eraser and I erased the date, the toning, which coin collector is going to cringe when he hears that, but it's 1967. So guess what? $10 in silver, $10 in free silver, 2 gallons of gasoline, absolutely free. I'll put it back in my MF Global envelope. Now, I did get a letter from the trustee of MF Global, and there's some interesting phraseology. First, I have to hold the SIPC harmless should I sign this document. Second, is it except to the extent inconsistent with the provisions of the Securities Investors Protection Act? What Security Investors Protection? I'm not getting Securities Investors Protection. Securities Investors Protection is being used to steal my money to make the process of a commodity brokerage account's bankruptcy a securities account bankruptcy, which is divesting me of my right to claw back J.P. Morgan, or otherwise ordered by the court the Commodity Futures Trading Commission regulations on bankruptcy. If we were following those regulations, the CFTC's regulations, then I would be able to claw back money against the safe harbor claims of J.P. Morgan Chase. So the SIPC isn't going to be there. FDIC might not be there, but I think the SIPC is going to fail first. And certainly when you don't disclose your balance sheet, you're telling me that there's an extreme amount of risk. Also, I've basically just pulled some cash out as well in the form of quarters. I'm going to nickels. I'm going to sort through $500 worth of quarters to see if any silver comes up. I don't think that it's going to be a single silver coin in $500 worth of quarters, but I am taking $100 worth of nickels out of circulation today, and I think these things are great because they cost the beast more money to produce than a nickel. So I'm taxing the system by buying them, and eventually, in metal value, it's the cheapest way to buy metal. It has a backstop of 5 cents. So thanks for your time.